So today, because of COVID, a lot of us, and I'm really blessing the fact that I don't have young children right now because I can't even imagine the stress of having to homeschool children, discipline them, entertain them, and do your own job as well, which is just mind-boggling and very overwhelming. So I've invited Jordanna Spaulding today to tell us, hi Jordanna. Jordanna actually grew up in Ringwood. I actually used to carpool her to school, and she has created an amazing business that can really benefit everyone today with her early childhood and special needs education. And I'm going to have her give you a little bit of her background, and then she's going to go into tips that can not only serve you now, but even later on with your children. Very unique and very effective. So Jordanna, tell me a little bit about your educational background and how you started Compass Learning Advantage.
Hi, Orly, thanks. So I am a New Jersey trained special ed teacher, and this is my therapy dog, Boomy. Say hi, Boom.
Cute. Oh, he's adorable.
Hey. So thanks. So me and Boomy together are the core team of Compass Learning Advantage. We have a bunch of other coaches and professionals on board, but how Compass started was I am a special ed teacher, so I would spend my days in the classroom. And then, as most teachers do, you have a side gig. So I was doing home therapy for children with autism, styled called ABA therapy, which is applied behavioral analysis using science and data to drive interventions for behaviors. And all I really wanted to do was coach after school, but my financial obligations forced me to have a second job. And as I started to realize working with these kids, the next step out of the intensive therapy situation would be for them to go and apply that in the community, to generalize what they've learned in intensive therapies, clinical or just in the home. But there weren't a lot of opportunities, if any, for those kids to thrive in the community, because it would be going from working one-to-one with your therapist in a controlled environment to throwing yourself out there into a large group setting, which for a lot of kids is really overstimulating and not the most ideal situation. So I started exploring the different ways that I can get kids engaged with sports and social skills, with the behavior background that I have, realizing this is an important segue into being a successful part of your town or your community or any community. And then with that, sports has a positive impact on the way your brain functions. So, hey, if you have cognitive disabilities, maybe getting more exercise is the right answer for you. So with that is Compass Learning Advantage. It's a hybrid. The name came from my love to travel the world, as I've traveled 6 continents, and I've also climbed to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro, which is the tallest freestanding mountain in the world. On that trip, I started to realize that if you do anything, you must do it slowly, slowly. And Swahili is called pole pole. And the whole time on that mountain, the coaches kept telling me slowly, 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 slowly. And I kept telling myself, hey, you trained for this. You're fit for this. You know, breathe through it, and I can do it, and I can do it, and I can do it. So with that, we have our recreational therapy program, which is called I Can Sports, right here. And the whole idea of it is just to build confidence and community. So kids are complimenting each other constantly. Kids are, our coaches are telling them, I can do it, I can do it. We set goals and we just do what that goal is. Every child learns at their own rate, but we're all doing it together. So we have children that would qualify for gifted and talented, and we also have kids that would qualify for a self-contained classroom, which means that you probably have 6 kids to 1 teacher and additional support in that. So we're really able to capture everyone with the learning advantage that we have decided to build and to share with everyone.
Very nice. So tell me, what are the essentials for a homeschooling classroom?
So that is an awesome question, Orly. Thanks. With that, you might think, oh, I need a nook for the classroom for the kids. I need a nook for my private, office. Now I have these Zoom calls with my clients or my boss, my colleagues. I need a separate nook for this and that. What I wanted to do is just consider adding in movement. The more you sit in a chair throughout the day, we know this, and I'm just hopefully reminding a lot of us that your brain starts to not function as well. So getting up and moving around is really important. I would consider making different stations around your house. So maybe a literacy station is a space in the house where everyone goes to get cozy and read. And then you get up and you move and you go over to maybe a fitness corner. A fitness corner could be something simple as resistance bands, a mini trampoline, just a space in your house that you designate to say, like, this is where I'm going to do my run in place and stare out the window. Or this is where I'm going to do my yoga moves and I'm going to put a yoga mat out and I'm going to clear the space. Even if it's in the corner of your living room, it might sound ridiculous now, but it is important to designate certain spaces of your house for that. So often a lot of classrooms have a literacy corner, a math corner, a science room or space. We also have a sensory space and a social studies space. So and a fitness space.
So how would you convert that to your home? Like the science corner, where would that be?
The science corner, you might think about, science can get messy, science can get cool. So maybe if you're lucky enough to have a garage, maybe the garage is a space where you've cleaned out some, stuff. You've made it safe, you've made it clean. There's nothing sharp and jagged over there. And it's a space where kids, you can just throw materials and they can make a mess. Making a mess is really important. It's really fun. It feels like you're breaking the rules when you can make a mess. Maybe another kind of science, if not a garage, is definitely a kitchen, right? Measuring things, mixing things, watching reactions. So maybe we designate a space, a bin that you put in your kitchen that says, okay, well, when we do science, we're going to get up and we're going to go over to the kitchen and we're going to do this thing. Part of that movement is really important to activate your brain to be, working, to boost it up, give it a little buzz. So just walking from maybe the literacy corner where you made some pillows and a nice couch, a little rocking chair, whatever you have going on for you with your books, and it's time to get up and move and go over to the kitchen. And then after that, it might be a good time to do some exercise. Consider maybe not doing 2 tasks before you get in some exercise. Even 1-2 minutes can really change the way your brain works. It can also help you emotionally regulate when you're feeling, It's just taking the time to breathe, stretch, and race your heart a little bit can change everything, can change your whole mood for the day. And it'll also help you and your family. If the children are self-regulating and controlling their feelings, they're probably going to not bother you as much. And if you're also able to self-regulate with a little bit of exercise, you might feel yourself being a better parent or the parent you want to be.
Very nice. Now, I know that you're a special ed expert and worked with a lot of special needs and autistic children. So what happens when you have a child at home that's aggressive, that's angry? How do you handle that in this closed environment?
So with this massive change, a lot of children are probably going through a great deal of emotional regression. Emotional regression it sounds scary, regression, but let me tell you how to deal with it. So what you can do is, first off, emotional aggressive behaviors are typically a way of communicating. So if you're a child who had a lot of words 2 months ago in March, February, doesn't matter what age they are, and all of a sudden they're hitting you, they're really angry at you, or they're really angry at something, they're taking it out on the house or taking it out on their siblings, they're being absolutely defiant. That's a way of them communicating that they feel really uncomfortable and they don't have necessarily the language at the moment to realize and tell you, I'm feeling, so I need this. A good solution for that would be, if you're at a loss for words, go for pictures. Maybe go through a magazine and cut out people and identify how they're feeling. Make a picture board, and you can have your child, doesn't matter what age they are, check in at different times of the day. How are you feeling today? Cool. How are you feeling this morning? Great. How are you feeling? It's 10 a.m. Let's check in again. It could be, I feel happy, I feel happy, I feel happy, but also using that tool to effectively communicate will help, hopefully, your child identify when they're starting to feel anxious. When they're starting to feel anxious or negative behaviors, you can have a chart that also offers them a solution. When I feel anxious or angry, match the picture, I should take a break. I should practice my breathing. I should go for a walk. I should roll myself up in my blankets like a taco and feel a really nice squeeze can be a really simple solution. And just having that confined space sometimes really helps. Maybe as a parent, you understand, you've felt, I feel so anxious, or you reflect back on times that life has been really troubling in now or previously, and you might realize a really good hug is awesome. You can get a lot of sensory by rolling your kids up in their blankets and giving them a tight squeeze, or being really considerate and giving that heavy squeeze can really just release so much. And it's so important. These little things, these nuanced strategies can really just turn your whole day around and hopefully help your children articulate how they're feeling so that you can help them and they can learn how to help themselves.
Great points, great points. And how can we help our children manage Zoom in their learning right now? Because they're not going to school, they're not with their friends. And how do you get them to do the Zoom learning?
Zoom learning is a whole new world. And again, with the big change that we've had, kids are angry at their teachers. They're angry and confused and are generating a lot of these internal feelings that, like I was saying before, they might not be able to identify what's happening through, it's just, there's a lot going on. So one thing that you can do for Zoom might be to, if you have you and another adult in the house, to set up 2 Zoom calls. So you're just Zooming within the house. Set them up in 2 separate rooms. So the child has a chance to go back and forth from different rooms and see themselves in one computer and see themselves in the other computer and see who's managing both things. There might be a disconnect. They just don't understand how this works. When we're watching TV, we don't get to interact with those people. Now that we're in Zoom, there might be an issue with, I just don't get what this is. This makes me so uncomfortable. I don't understand it. So beyond that, them self-exploring to realize how Zoom works, just that the person in the computer is a live person, someone who really cares about you, someone who can talk to you and is there for you. Another way beyond that could be if your teacher is expecting them to sign in at 10 a.m. or, everybody had their schedules right now, that you set up the Zoom call, you put them in the same room with the Zoom call, some of their favorite toys, and let them just listen to it. Do not force them to tune in, to sit in front of the camera, to do these things that are clearly they're not ready for. But if they have the opportunity to self-explore and to get comfortable with it at their own rate and their own level, you might find some more success. So if you put them in a room, like I said, with some favorite toys that they can be occupied with, or you're playing a game, Chutes and Ladders, or reading them a story, just giving them the chance to listen and take the time to explore is so important. And usually when you're able to self-explore, just the general approach, the physiological response of anxiety that your body is probably having could be more limited, which would be a positive response. So just practicing.
Right. I Zoom with my grandchildren. So, maybe have them Zoom with their relatives, friends, just so they're comfortable with the process and the technology. So they know that this is the new norm, just like FaceTime. It's just a bigger FaceTime, basically. Well, Jordanna, these are amazing, amazing tips. I'm sure a lot of parents will benefit from this. And if they want to reach out to you, where can they find you?
So we are online, www.compasslearningadvantage.com, also on Facebook and Instagram. And if anybody would love to send me an email because they just have some questions, need some resources, I'm also available at compasslearningadvantage@gmail.com.
Fantastic. And will you do like one-on-one consultations and just give people advice over the phone?
Yeah. So we have the consultation level where if you just need a tip or two or some resources to print out, just any direction, I'd be happy to help you. And if you're interested in something more, something comprehensive for your children to get all of the things that they need, including the social aspect. School is a huge social piece, and it's really important for kids to stay connected. So we have classes going on. We have 1-to-1 intensive classes. We have 3-to-1 for anybody who's still anxious at the computer by looking at a 4x6 Zoom call is very overstimulating. So we have the 3-to-1, or we have a 6-to-1 ratio. So we have tons of cool, fun things to keep your kids busy for hours on end. Believe it or not, it's working. And parents are excited because they're able to do their work or have time for themselves, get whatever they need to do done. Maybe you have 2 kids at home and you need to homeschool one. What is the other one going to do? Definitely not Roblox all day. So we have classes for that.
Fantastic. This was wonderful, Jordanna. Thank you so much. And again, I offer everybody the opportunity to just alleviate the situation, make it the best that you can possibly make it with her expert advice. Thanks, Jordanna. Good talking to you today.
Thanks, Orly. I'll see you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.